What's up, everybody? Aaron Smith here, and we are back with our show where we interview top agents with Keller Williams here in Cincinnati so that you can find out what we do to succeed. And I have the pleasure today to be talking to one of my friends, Sarah Woody. Sarah, what's up?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's May. Are you busy right now?
Oh my gosh, I seriously forgot the other day that it was May already. But yes, moving right through spring, right into summer. So staying busy.
I know. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk with us. And this ought to be really good. I love hearing about your adventures in real estate. So hopefully we can get some good nuggets out of this today. So
thanks. Yeah, me too.
All right. So we'll go ahead and get started. Tell us how long you've been in real estate and what got you into the career.
Sure. Yeah. It's funny because I truly have kind of always been in real estate in some way, shape, or form. My family, I grew up with a family, extended family who flipped homes growing up. So I feel like my first true job was like painting houses as a kid. But really what got me into being a real estate agent was I worked at Tesla in Cincinnati and I sold cars. And a lot of the people I ended up selling cars to were real estate agents. And I was like, whoa, people, this many people are real estate and buying Teslas. Like, I want to do that. So I interviewed a couple of real estate agents I met through Tesla and literally signed up for my license within a week, got licensed within 3 weeks, and have been licensed ever since. So January 2017 was when I took my real estate test and officially have been an active real estate agent. It probably has been since about April of 2017, though, that I've really been a full-time real estate agent. So it's been awesome. I'm going on my third year.
You kind of worked both careers for a few months there, right?
Like 3 jobs for 3 months. And then I just decided, you know what? I love Tesla. I just see so much more of a future with real estate. So
cool. So just so the people who are watching or listening can hear kind of your thought process, what was it? Because a lot of people, they'll jump into real estate and they'll keep their old job.
Yep.
And they become comfortable because now they're selling a couple houses a year, vacation money or whatever. And then they keep their old job for benefits or salary or something like that. What was it that caused you to go ahead and was that the plan all along to jump out of Tesla and go into real estate? Or was there something going on in real estate? It was like, I can't do all this at the same time.
Yeah, I think for me, I've always been a really, when I jump into something, I do it 110%. So I think I was doing Tesla at 110% and I was getting into real estate and doing that at 110%. I jumped into productivity coaching right away and took a million training classes right away. And just my goal was to immediately jump into getting business. So my first listing was in April. And after that, I just pretty much made the conscious decision that if I'm going to jump into this 110%, I'm going to need to focus all of my time into really making sure that I'm focusing on real estate and doing what I need to do every day to make it be successful. So I think for me, it was really just knowing that, and my goals were here. And in order to meet those goals, I needed to really just focus on it full time. And I'm not going to say it wasn't scary. I would say quitting my job in W-2 land was where I had more of a consistent income was definitely risky. I just really saw a huge future with real estate. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Once I felt prepared, I think that was the biggest thing is I'm very type A and I always need to get my ducks in a row. And so once I finally was like, okay, I feel good. I feel like I have my plan in front of me. Let's do this.
Yeah. So real estate was no longer this scary thing anymore. Right. It was like, hey, I've learned enough at this point where I can just jump out and feel comfortable going in with both feet.
Totally.
Yeah. So just for reference, how would you describe your production? You could do it hey, last year I did this, or up to this, my career, I've done this. So how would you describe your production right now?
Yeah. Last year, my numbers were, I closed 38 units. I had 8.8 million in volume. And this goal, I really have increased it to 60 units closed this year with 12 million in volume and 360 in GCI. And then in addition to that goal, that's just for me personally as an agent, individual agent, I'm also growing a team. So that number is going to be changing in the next probably month, I would say. So we're going to be increasing those goals in Q3. So reach out to me in July.
Yeah, we'll do a follow-up sometime to see how you're doing with all this stuff.
Yeah, so definitely I'm on a huge trajectory of growth. I think for me, I want to grow as much as I can, and I know I need leverage. So to get more than 60 units, I think I absolutely am going to need to grow a team. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, you can't be all places and all things to all people at one time.
No, definitely can't be.
Yeah, we all only have 24 hours in a day. So,
Right.
so on that note, what would you say up to this point in your career? What's been the biggest contributor to your success?
Yeah, I would say for me, honestly, so I'm born and raised in Cincinnati. This is my home. It's always been my home, and I think my biggest contributor to my success is truly my sphere of influence. And more detailed on that, more specific to my sphere of influence, I would say it's really been social media. So for me, social media meaning Facebook and Instagram, and even more specifically like Instagram stories, I would say. So I have such a great database of friends and family that grew up here in Cincinnati, that still live here, or even have friends, maybe they're in Chicago now, but have friends that still live here. So for me, I would say the answer is really social media. And that's really the way I've been able to be as successful as I've been so far. And a lot of people might be like, what the heck, what do you do on social media that makes you be successful? I would say it's really just being like top of mind. And I try not to be that person who like posts my houses that I have for sale every single day on Facebook. I try just to be super real and authentic. And I would say most of my posts, I like to say probably like 70% of my posts are personal. And whether like I'm asking questions about my life or wanting people's thoughts on Game of Thrones episode this week or whatever it might be, I would say my big thing is just being super authentic, but being consistent with it. So I have a lead generation like time blocking around social media where I literally get on social media to interact with people I know. So that's really been huge for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And, to piggyback off of that, I see your Instagram posts, the stories, and it's like you're sitting in traffic, Columbia Parkway in Cincinnati's backed up and you're sitting in traffic and you're like, you're just being funny and real. And, the best type of advertising doesn't feel like advertising, right?
Exactly.
You're just relating to the people that you know, which is part of being a real estate agent.
Exactly. And I never want it to be fake because truly everything that comes on my story is coming from me. Follow me on Instagram. People know pretty much like what I love. And one of the funniest things is I almost always Instagram like Frisch's. I have this weird thing for Frisch's. I don't know why. But this year around Christmas, I got over $150 worth of Frisch's gift cards from family, friends, clients, because they all follow me on Instagram, and just it's about being consistent. So I'm consistent that I love Frisch's. But so it's just being, I would say, like top of mind, and always when people think of Frisch's, now they think of me, which is woo, I guess hopefully they also think of real estate too.
And that, I didn't think about that. That is something that I didn't pair that with you, but now every single time somebody drives by a Frisch's, they think of Sarah Woody, which makes them think of you as a real estate agent, and like co-branding. That is brilliant.
I need to reach out to their like social media person. Like I need to get featured here.
I think if somebody like picked like, if for you it's Frisch's, for me it's Chipotle or tacos, right? So like with my team, our official team food is tacos. So like now I want to create what you've done with Frisch's for tacos. So that's awesome.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I love it. I think if it's not for Facebook or, social media in general, I don't think I would be where I am today with real estate for sure. So this week alone, I have 3 Instagram messages from people just direct messaging me saying like, hey, I see you post about your Facebook and Instagram about real estate. It looks like you're doing a really great job. I would say, even though maybe I've had a really crappy week, perception is super important to your sphere, is making sure that they always think that, you're doing really great, and making sure you're posting enough, not to be annoying, but be top of mind. So this week I set up 2 buyers consultations, and then another person that I've added to my database that's going to be buying in the next 6 months. So all because of social media.
Yeah, and our marketing budgets are they don't have to be nearly as high with like billboards and bus ads and stuff like that, because now our billboard is basically our life story on Facebook or Instagram. So that's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, totally.
Cool. So here's a question for you that is sometimes hard to answer, but what habits are you using every day that are adding to your success level?
Habits. I would say for me, my number one habit that I obsess over is goal setting. So I have a director of operations that works with me. Her name's Trista. Every day that we come into the office, our number one thing is saying, are we on track to meet our goals this year? and we review our goals, and we have a pipeline that tracks, like we have all these like Excel formulas in a spreadsheet. So just making sure that we are on track to meet our goals. And that's a daily routine for me. So that's a huge habit. I always know exactly where I am in my on track for goals. And that's for units, volume, and then GCI. So those are my 3 goals that we track. Like mainly. And then in addition to the goal setting, we also track our numbers. So tracking our current active listings or buyers, our pending listings or buyers that we have, and then also our close. So really knowing like your numbers is super, super important. And then other habits, I guess for me, it's just like maybe social media is part of my lead generation. So I would say my lead generation is one of my big habits. So social media is constantly a habit for me. In addition to one of the big things I love, I actually learned this really from you getting started in real estate, was handwritten notes. I love handwritten notes. So every Monday, my routine is to write birthday cards and I look on Facebook mainly, but also go to my database and I handwrite birthday cards because no one does it anymore. And it's so fun to get a handwritten note. So handwrite birthday cards. I also have a very specific process around people who give me referrals. I have these super cute cards. Let me show you. I have these super cute cards and they just say, I don't know if this is going to be backwards or not, but it says like, thanks a latte. So if someone gives me a referral, they get a thanks a latte card from me with a $10 Starbucks gift card in it. So that's a big habit of mine too, is just like a system of rewarding people who give you referrals. So I would say that's like those are probably the biggest habits I do on a weekly basis. But yeah.
Something you said there hit me where I feel like we need to like share a little nugget.
Sure.
Social media is big for you for top of mind awareness, but what I love about what you do is you take what's going on social media and you take it off social media and get into real life with it. Like stuff like, hey, somebody just got a new puppy and it's one of your like top clients or something like that. And it's like, okay, little dog treats and maybe a leash or a watering bowl or something like that. And, that's one way to stay top of mind and ingrain yourself into somebody's mind as the top agent because you cared about what was going on in their life at the time.
Yeah, I think that's so important. Is Facebook's great, and a lot of people's birthdays on Facebook, I try my best. So sorry if I've left you out before, people, but I try my best to comment on people's birthdays. And if I don't have their address and I know they live in Cincinnati, it's a really quick thing to do because Monday's my routine. I look for the following week of people's birthdays is to Facebook message them and say, oh my gosh, I see it's your birthday this week. I realize I don't have your address. Would you mind sending it to me? And then they're like, yeah, you're going to send me something for my birthday. Of course, they're going to send you their address. So you not only connect with them, but you also get their address, which is huge. So you can see if they're renting or if they own a property too. So
that's awesome.
Trying to make it more like tangible other than just being on social media. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Cool. Here's one that I always love because it just kind of, interests me. Been in business for almost 3 years now. What is your biggest surprise having gotten into real estate that you weren't expecting?
Surprise. I know this is, I want to see how I want to phrase this. I would say probably my biggest surprise is just realizing you need to be a nice person every day. And that seems so weird, but you come across, we're in the people business, we're in the customer service business, and we deal with people every day, whether it's our clients, whether it's agents, whether it's lenders, title companies. I mean, gosh, you deal with so many people. So I think my biggest thing is learning like what goes around comes around. And if people know you as a nice agent, you'd be surprised at how many people you work with that just aren't nice. And I don't know why they're not nice. If they feel like they need to be like, I don't know, like this powerful agent sometimes. But I would say like, I'm surprised with how many people just aren't happy or they just don't come from a place of positivity. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to negotiate for our clients and have their best interests in mind, but we can still be a nice person. So I think that's my biggest thing is I have this affirmation every morning when I go to open my coffee drawer or what is that?
Cabinet,
thank you. And it has this thing, a little affirmation I see every morning, and it's called the 4 BPs. And every morning I know it, I look at it, it says 4 BPs, be positive, be patient, be persistent, and be present. And I see those every morning. I'm like, and then I drink my coffee. And I think that's super important. It's just to remember you need to be a positive person. You need to be patient. You need to be persistent, and you need to be present every day. And I think if you have the mindset of being just a nice person, you can avoid the constant stress of dealing with like a confrontation and dealing with the not so nice people.
Yeah. And, I just had this conversation with Shelby Newman.
Really?
And the conversation went something like this. If you're in a multiple offer situation and you represent the buyer, and that listing agent, if you've crossed them or you've been a jerk to them, or if you've just not shown them respect in some way, they're going to remember that. And when it comes time to accept your offer versus another offer, your clients need to know that you're a positive person and you tend to work well with others, which can help you win certain situations too.
Totally. I mean, I've been there where you might be getting a couple of offers, and if you've had a great experience with another agent, I think that goes a long way for sure.
Absolutely. So a lot of people listening to this and watching this are either considering getting into the business, or they're already in it and they're just trying to increase their business. What advice would you give somebody who's thinking about getting into real estate?
Yeah. And I love talking about this. I feel like this is my most fun thing I love to talk about. I think my biggest advice for someone getting into real estate is, if you're looking to get into real estate, start thinking of your database, because that's the most important part of real estate is your database. Without a database, you're going to have any business. So for me, I would say if you're thinking about getting into real estate, start thinking about the people you know. And that was the biggest tip I got from somebody getting started, was just make a list, make an Excel spreadsheet, Google Sheet, whatever you want to do, and just write down everybody you know on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on your friends, your family, your neighbor's neighbor, everybody that you know, and write down their names and their contact information. And I would say that's the most important thing, is if once you start doing that, try to get at least 100 people and label how you know them and get as much contact information as you can on them. And I think that's like the biggest thing that you can really do getting started, is just really start building your database. But yeah, so I would say, like, once you jump into real estate, the biggest thing that you should really do is, people don't realize how important trainings are and coaching, and how important it is just to like seek mentorship. So I would say immediately getting started in real estate, get plugged into coaching, get plugged into mentorship, start being a showing assistant to other agents that you can maybe shadow and see how they do their business. I think that's super important, is just really knowing, like, raise your hand and, ask to do all these things that you need to learn anyways. And yeah. I think
that's killer advice. And I often tell people, do as much stuff for free as you possibly can, because you're learning so that you can earn later. And just get in there and get your hands dirty.
And one thing too, I would say, when I got started, I'm very type A. I'm very I always need to know the full picture before doing it. And I think that was my downfall getting started, was I forget who talked about it like this, but it's quit getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready, just do it. And I think I was so obsessed about what my business card looked like, what my first Facebook post was going to be saying that I was in real estate, waiting to go show houses until I had my business cards. I think the most important thing is, we call it R&D in real estate, rip off and duplicate. Just rip off and duplicate what already has been in place. And look at the successful agents. We've all R&D'd something. I've ripped off and duplicated multiple things. And I'd say just don't reinvent the wheel. Just do it. Just jump right in. Yeah.
That's excellent advice. Excellent. So coming into the final two questions here, what is your favorite business book or real estate book?
Yeah, I love to read. I would say you definitely need to read all the time. Getting started, the best business book for me, for the type A, Sarah, was The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. That was a really great way just to show you can R&D all of the processes that they have in place. One of the books, I don't know if you read this one, Erin, but this is one of my current favorite books. It's called Love Works. And this is just a way, it's just showing how to be an effective leader through love. And this kind of ties in just to being a nice person. This has been really great for me. And I think it's going into building a team. Love Works by Joel Mansby. It's been huge for me of just how can I be a good leader of a team, of a future team, in an effective way that's not just a demanding leader. So that's been a huge one for me. It's kind of top of mind right now.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we're kind of done right now. So when people want to get in touch with you, or if they want to reach out and kind of ask more questions or see what your thoughts are about your company or how you do business, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, right now I would say the best way to get in touch with me is through my cell phone. So my phone number is 513-405-0013. You can go to my website, sarahwoody.com. That's always a great way just to go see my website. All my contact information's on there too. Or you can follow me on Instagram, as we mentioned. That's probably one of my number one. It's my personal Instagram, though. It's not even a business Instagram. It's just Sarah Aubrey. So that's my Instagram page. But yeah, we'd love to connect.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing what you do and how you built your business, and appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. You're a rock star. I would look up to you.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it.